Yun, magandang gabi sa inyo lahat. Ako po si Trixie Cruz Angeles. Ito ang Luminous. Talaga, skincare reveal talaga. What happened during the PGMA administration on the federalism issue and House Speaker. All right, we'll talk about that after. Let's start first with yung topic natin for today. But before anything else, magandang gabi sa inyo lahat. I hope everybody is well. Para dun sa mga nanonood, magandang gabi. KCRTV, Nagaraya, Mario Chavez, Nida Rivera, Divine Umayam, Bobby, Stephanie, Ming, Alan Carlos, Oma, Merle, Maya, Troy, Hayward, Andres, way I see it, Stephanie, Edmond, Maya, LV, Yen, Japheth, Cheryl, Rain, Gavina, Maria Divina, Gabriel, Isagani, Luis, Ellen Grace, Ricardo, Leah Pearl, Jonard, Lilium, Corazon, Mary, Jeanette, Ellen, Mama Mia, Channel, Alan, Arnel, Larry Lynn, Apat, Steve, JR, Nala, Loida, Plastika Pistika. Ano, shout out yan. Wala pa daw prayer. Uy, grabe. Di prayer. Nakakahiya naman kasi iba-iba tayong paniniwala dito, so di tayo mag-prayer. Hi kay Sunny, kay Blessings in a Cup, Josie, Johan, Victor, Sunny, Aneli, JC4, C4 ko, Irwal, ayun, Seo Kyunso, Bernie, Tata Roms, Rowena, Beth's Place, Kulot, Julius, Sunny, Gigs, Ikea, Grace, Ayan, Aris, Dr. Silver Gibb, Arme, Oreo and Harley, Meow, Teban, Chapot, Tin, Mike, Friel, Alchemy, Yueki, Chapot, na tawag ko na, Bong Casino, at Christine, Ford, Lily. Okay? And Pogzo Game na daw. Alright, so today's headline, kumbaga, ay, sabi ni Tox, pambansa awit muna. Uy, grabe, sinilyoso niya naman masyado yung lesson natin. So, now, ano daw source of income ko? Pagkatapos akong tawaging attorney, o anong source of income ko? Ano ba? Diba? Hindi pa ba obvious? Hindi. Aside from the radio and TV programs, ganon? Okay. Sige, kaya yan. Kaya mo na yan. Alright. So, magandang gabi sa inyo lahat. And headline of the day is the dismissal of the case filed by Congresswoman Franz Castro against former President Rodrigo Duterte. At of course, for many of us, this is good news. But also for some of us, hindi pa po, well, kumbaga, so, wala. So, it was obvious, dun pa lang sa filing ng kaso ni Congresswoman Franz Castro na may problema yung kaso niya. May issues yung kaso niya because, kumbaga, she alleges that she was threatened. So, ang kaso sa kay former President Duterte was grave threats. Kasi, according to the complaint, sabi ni Ms. Castro, nung sinabi ni Presidente na sana, kung ako ikaw, ganito mangyayari sa'yo, and so on, sabi ni Ms. Castro na natakot siya, na feeling niya nanganganib ang buhay niya at baka anytime may mangyari sa kanya. Ngayon, of course, deliberate yung pagkasabi niya gano'n, no? Kasi essential element yan ng grave threats. So, ano yung grave threats? Yung mananakot ka, kahit tapos walang condition, kasi there's several kinds of grave threats. In this particular case, yung ana-allege ni Congressman Castro is tinethreaten ka with bodily harm, harm on yourself, on your family, and so on. And walang condition. So, at sa kadahilanan ng pagkasabi noon, siya po ay natakot at naisip niya na posibleng nanganganib ang buhay niya. Sabi ng prosecutor, kasi sa piskal po ito kinaso. Bakit sa piskal? Ganyan po ang normal na criminal case. Kailangan i-determine po ng city prosecutor o ng assistant city prosecutor muna kung mayroong tinatawag na probable cause bago ito tumuloy sa hukuman. So ano yung probable cause? Ang probable cause ay yung belief o yung ng prosecutor o yung finding ng prosecutor na posibleng may krimen dito at posibleng itong taong to ang gumawa. So ang problema nga dito ay hindi mukhang, kumbaga unang-una, hindi talaga siya, hindi maliwanag kung kanino, kung sino ang nag-issue ng threat, kung kung sa kanya nga na-issue, pero it was also being issued like the father protecting his daughter, and sino bang nag-ano dito, na kumbaga, being directed to do that. So, dahil hindi yan maliwanag, dinismiss ng hukuman ito. So, let me double check lang yung ating yung precise terms, kasi nandito yan. Let me see kung kaya kong ilagay sa screen, ha? Hindi malagay. Window. Yun. Akong window. Ito. Nakikita ba ito? Dali, I'm trying to present it. Entire screen, window. Ayun. Yeah. Let's see kung makita ito ha, kung kakayanin i-present sa screen. Ay, hindi na nagpe-present. Alright, never mind. I was trying, but sige, hindi kaya. But I can read it kasi it's in a separate window lang. Hirap naman ito. Yan. According to the prosecutor, ito, sabi, the office finds it unusual, if not ridiculous, for a person to make a public pronouncement of death threats or perpetuate threatening remarks if he's that serious and deliberate enough in actualizing or effectuating such threats conceived in his mind. Especially so considering that such individual, like the respondent, si former president, is already in an advanced age and not anymore immune from criminal prosecution. In other words, sinasabi ng prosecutor dito, nung hearing officer, kumbaga, the way it was said, parang hindi naman, walang intention to commit a crime. So, kasi yan, pagdating sa criminal cases, okay, kailangan mayroong act, yung tawag nilang actus reus, tsaka mens rea. Ano yung actus reus? The criminal act. Yung mens rea is the intention to commit the act. Okay? The intention or the malice in your mind. Your intention to commit that wrong. So, kung ang former president natin ay may sinabi na ganun, pero wala naman siyang intention, manakot, then there is no crime. So yun po ang sinasabi ng ating prosecutor dito sa kaso na to. So, pero sa totoo lang, very few of us, or very few in the legal profession, considered it a serious case. Kumbaga, hindi ko sure kung ano yung purpose ni Congresswoman Franz Castro sa pagpa-file ng kaso na ito, but it clearly doesn't look like that she was actually afraid at kaya siya nagkaso. Ang tingin ko dyan is that, it was to make the former president second guess. So sa susunod na magsasalita si former president, they are hoping, hope is not a strategy, they are hoping na magdadalawang isip siya the next time na siya ay magsasalita. Kasi posible siyang makasuhan. So yun yung, I think it looks like that was the point of the case. Kasi, kumbaga, medyo far-fetched na kumbaga, that this thing will fly, that their theory will fly, that it will be, that the courts will take cognizance of this case. So quite simple lang naman, medyo straightforward, hindi masyadong mahaba yung decision at sinasabi talaga medyo consider the circumstances. Sabi ng prosecutor, consider nyo naman yung circumstances. Nasa TV siya, walang immunity, dating presidente ito, abogado siya, alam na to. So, tapos ganun yung pagka-announce niya, then there was really no intention to scare Congresswoman Castro, nor was there any intention to push through with whatever the alleged threat said. Okay, di ba? May inom ako ng sikwate, pasensya na. So that's the good news. Yeah. I know na a lot of us don't believe that the former president actually committed a crime, pero syempre kahit paano, nag-aalala tayo sa kanya. Sabi nga ng prosecutor din, advanced age na itong taong to, wala na siyang immunity, talagang paghihinalaan niyo pa na nananakot siya. In such a blatant way, kumbaga, in ano on a television program or live on social media. So, yun yung sabi ni Jane, grandstanding and propagandist. Well, isipin niyo, syempre, pag you want to push for a particular cause, lahat ng pagkakataon, you'll take a grab at it. So, ganun po yung ginagawa naman ni Congresswoman Castro. And syempre, politika ito, gagawa at gagawa sila ng paraan. Bukod pa dyan, syempre, it put her in the limelight. And alam mo naman ang mga politicians natin, kailangan ng publicity. So, good or bad, basta maalala pangalan nila, importante yun para sa kanila. No? Tapos, syempre, ganito yun, di ba? You acquire the size of your enemy. So, if you're going to pick a fight, you pick a fight with somebody big. So, Congresswoman Castro is picking a fight with a bigger guy. And I don't think you can get any bigger in this country than Rodrigo Duterte, ba? So, and no, I don't think naman that she's feeling heartbroken over this. Ang tingin ko dyan is na-apprise siya, nasabihan siya ng kanyang lawyer na, alam niyo, medyo malayo to ha, medyo far-fetched ito. So, but let's try it anyway, baka sakali, di ba? Ito, sabi ni Mount Cabin, at hindi parang ganito lang po yung case ni Castro. Sa bunutang kita dyan, attorney, do you feel threatened? Yes, I'm so scared. O, tama ka dyan, na considering the circumstances, hindi po Milo yun si Kuwate. Sabi ni Carlos, masarap daw po ang Milo. Si Kuwate po ito, galing Davao del Norte. So, yun, tama ka dyan, Mount Cabin. Ganun nga po yung similarity ng circumstances. So, yun nga lang, ang risk dyan ni Congresswoman Castro is that, pag natalo, medyo you have to take yung gaganon yung mga tao. Siyempre, it's part of partisan politics. So, there's that, di ba? Duterte pa rin. Yes, pure si Kuwate po ito. Tinatanong kasi ni Pilipinas loves Korea. Pure si Kuwate ba raw to? Opo, pure si Kuwate siya. Sabi, ayusin ko to. Kasi lumulundo eh. Ayan. So, sabi ni Vic, Franz Castro filed this case because she was instructed to by you-know-who. I guess that's possible. Diba? Sabi ni Mayat, proud siya na taga Davao del Norte siya. Yes, you should be really proud kasi itong si Kuwate na to, it tastes so traditional. Ganito yung parang yung pangsimbang gabi. Ganito talaga. Opo, Mama Mia, miinom ako ng si Kuwate. Okay. Meanwhile, yata kita dun sa background ko. Meanwhile, napalitan nga po ang ating bago na po ang ating Secretary of Finance. Well, in theory, bago na kasi mag-assume office lang si former Senator Ralph Recto nitong 15. Although, nag-vacate na po ng opisina kahapon pa lang si former DOF Secretary Jokno. Now, ang feeling ko, available ba yan sa market, ma'am, ang si Kuwate? Alam niyo, iniisip ko talaga maglagay na sa Shopee kasi ang hirap talaga maghanap dito ng ganito. So, back to the topic. So, matagal na, and as we know, si Madam Maharlika nga po ay naglabas ng balita na mapapalitan nga si Sec Jokno. At marami haka-haka ngayon kung ano ba ang dahilan kung bakit siya matatanggal. Well, kung kayo po ay nakikinig sa Karambola in the past few months, marami na tayong nakikitang sablay sa kanya. Pero yung pinakamalaki dyan, yung kanyang mga salita tungkol sa military and other uniformed personnel, yung mga MUP. Kasi siya yung may pakana dun sa pagre-revise or pag-impose ng bagong rules na magkailangan na may contribution ang mga men in uniform natin. So, sabi ni Simon says, pro-PI daw siya, basta PI ni Tatay Diggs. May punto kayo dyan, ha? So, anyway, so bakit? So, one of the main reasons na alam natin dun sa pag-ease out kay Secretary Ben Jokno was, ito nga, na-alienate yung ating military and uniformed services. At syempre, nakakabagabang naaapektuhan ang Pangulo dahil sa ginawa niyang yon. In fact, after dun sa mga sinabi niya na kinasamaan ng loob ng ating mga sundalo at saka police and other uniformed services, hindi man lang siya nag-apologize. Diba? May mga sinabi siya, tapos meron pa, there is more than that. So, pero hindi siya nag-apologize. Ang sinabi lang niya ay, talaga namang kailangan. Alam niyo, sa totoo lang, maraming kailangan gawin ng gobyerno and sometimes, pag ginawa yun, medyo masakit. Kaya, lalong-lalo na dito sa uniform services natin. So, di ba, panahon ni Duterte, in-increasean ng sweldo para commensurate na. Para hindi sila hirap at para kaya nilang magpaaral ng kanilang mga anak. Alam niyo ba yon? Na one of the things na talagang hinanaing ng ating mga uniform services ay yung sweldo nila at yung, kumbaga, yung gawain nila buwis buhay. We ask them, we, the people, ask them to put themselves in harm's way. So, kung gayon rin lang, dapat commensurate to the dangers yung mga sinisweldo natin. May nakita akong comment and I really have to call this one out. Ang sabi, alam naman nila na ganyan kadelikado yung buhay nila, yung kanilang trabaho. Kung ano yung sweldo nila, yun na yun. No, actually that's not it. Hindi pwedeng ganon. Hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na, alam niyo naman delikado buhay mo sa ganyan eh. Dapat masaya ka na sa kung ano yung sweldo. No, it doesn't work that way. In fact, walang amount na makaka-commensurate na aabot dun sa sa value ng buhay ng isang tao. Sa totoo lang, hindi natin hindi natin masusuklian yung hinihingi natin sa ating mga sundalo, mga pulis, mga bumbero, and so on. There's no amount commensurate to that. The most that we can do is make sure na at least hindi nakaka-insulto. Diba? Kaya nilang, kumbaga, it is a living wage, a living salary, na kung sakasakali din may mangyari sa kanila, maaalagaan or may ikabubuhay ang pamilya na iniiwan nila. Alright? So, yung isa pa was, nag-price cap si Pangulo. Pero in this matter, medyo tama si Jock na naman dito. Pero, mahina yung PR niya eh. Mahina din. Kumbaga, straight talker kasi siya, to be fair. Straight talker yan, so he will not sugarcoat things, something that he should learn because you are a cabinet secretary. So, nung nagka-issue tayo sa presyo ng bigas, sabi ng Pangulo, dapat may price cap yan. Feeling namin sa Karambola is hindi na abisuhan ang presidente quickly enough to inform him that price caps or price control does not work. And kahit anong PR nila later on, hindi nag-work yung price cap, kumbaga, natiis natin, pero hindi ibig sabihin yan that it was hugely successful. So, anong sinabi ng presidente? O sige, price cap tayo. Sabi ni Sec Jock, no? It did not work. And it doesn't work. Price caps don't work. Ganto. And he said it straight out. It doesn't work and you really cannot sustain something like that. And nag-press release na yung palasyo na nag-work ang price caps. Ang undersecretary ngayon ni Sec Ben, who has since left, yung babae, pinalo up niya yun. Kumbaga, sinuportahan niya yung boss niya. We never advised the president to announce a price cap because as we know, price controls don't work. Ang nangyayari lang is, dahil nalulugi, and especially in this case, ang malulugi ay mga retailers, mas lalong hindi, magdi-disappear yung produkto. It might create a shortage at lalo pang ma-encourage ang mga tao na mag-hoard. So, nung kalaunan, shortly after he announced that, pinatawag siya sa palasyo. And the next day, pinire yung undersecretary niya. So, we know that this was a big deal. Alam natin na nayanig in the corridors of power na this was something that Secretary Jokno was, out of line, kumbaga, sa pagkakasabi. So maraming nagtatanong, alright, among others, hindi lang po yan. Of course, yung mga other policies, like halimbawa, sige, yung paghihigpit sa fiscal policy, yung paghihigpit sa interest ng mga bangko and so on. At some point kasi dahil mataas ang inflation, hihigpitan mo ngayon yung interest rates, tataasan mo yung interest rates para hindi masyadong maraming perang umiikot at tumataas ang mga presyo. But hindi nasabihan na, kumbaga hindi na explain ng DOF na you can do this for so long. But at some point, diba, you're going to have to deal with it in another way. Plus, hindi siya naghigpit din dun sa he had to work dapat with the DA. Ang problema, si Presidente Marcos yung head ng Department of Agriculture at may mga polisiya talaga na hindi ma-implement sa DA na magkukos ng pagbaba ng presyo ng pagkain, especially ng bigas. Hindi na asikaso yung mga middlemen, hindi na asikaso yung mga silos, hindi na asikaso yung yung investments in the agricultural sector that could have led to more efficiency dun sa sistema at saka pagbababa ng presyo. And this was also pinned on him. Bukod pa dyan, syempre, nag-fail din ng DTI. Hindi ko pa sure kung kung ano yung kamandag ni Sec Pascual. Pero para sa akin, mas marami siyang kailangan ginagawa. Mas marami siyang hindi nagagawa as compared dito kay Sec Benjoc, no? Pero, well, yan. That, plus of course, I understand classmate sa Lasal, this former Senator Ralph Recto. Diba, alam mo na. And siya yung nakapag ang inaatas sa kanya, inuutos sa kanya ay yung mag-raise ng revenue para sa gobyerno. Sakit sabihin nun. Raise more revenue for the government. And how do you do that? That's usually through taxes, di ba? Si former Senator Ralph Recto kasi siya po ang naglakad ng batas sa VAT. Okay? So, ayun, sabi ni Albert Legislador, Recto is Mr. VAT disaster. Alam mo, para sa akin, VAT, the VAT law at yung imposition ng VAT, yes, it does raise taxes for us. Pero may pangako nun. Dalawa lang kasi silang nakapagsulong nun. Si former Congressman Ezequiel Javier, kasi siya ay tax lawyer, at saka itong si Senator Ralph Recto. Sa totoo lang, mas alam ni Congressman Ezequiel Javier yung tax laws. Especially kahit nakapikit, kahit itali yung mga kamay ni Kong Javier, kayang-kaya niyang kaliwat kanan i-explain kung paano lalakad yon. Ang problema, the reason tinanggap natin at the time yung imposition ng VAT ay dahil may pangako yan. Ang pangako is that eventually babawasan ang income taxes at i-replace siya ng direct taxes. Now, what is VAT? VAT is a direct tax. Direct kasi automatic ang pagbayad mo when you make a purchase. Diba? So, it's included in the purchase price. So, it's easier to collect, mas mahirap dayain, and so on, kasi direct tax siya. Ang filing ng income tax, ang income tax po ay mas mahirap gawing efficient kasi it relies largely on an honesty system. Particularly for those who claim business income or are self-employed. Mahigpit lang doon sa mga employed kasi kayang automatically i-deduct ng employer at ang employer ang magbayad ng income taxes. May mga tao dito na parang ginagawa niyong hero itong si Sec Joc, no. But I think valid naman yung kaanuhan siya, no, na maging issue yung sa MUP. Remember that when you balance things out, a little diplomacy would have gone a long way. So, and while I'm not a fan of Senator Ralph Recto either, I understand the reasons kung bakit tatanggalin si Sec Joc. No? So, totoo lang, yung dalawang binanggit ko are only two of those na sumablay dito. Ang problema rin sa kanya ay yung failure to raise more revenue. Diba? At saka, isa pa. Si Sec Benjoc, no, kumubra na yan ng retirement nung siya ay nag-retire sa Bangko Sentral. Ang laki ng retirement benefits noon, napansin nyo ba? It's something like 30 million. Yung niya. So, and that binigyan pa siya ng position, which means he was paid, in commensurate to cabinet secretaries, of course, which isn't that big. Pero, ang dami pa rin niya na naging benefits. So, ako kasi not a fan. Nakikita ko dito, ang daming nagsasabing magaling siya. Well, for me, he was good during the Duterte administration, pero medyo nag-fail siya dito sa sa next one. So, para sa akin, kayang tanggapin yung pagtanggal kay Sec Joc, no. He was offered a position on the monetary board, pero hindi siya pwedeng chairman. For a while, he wanted to go to the Maharlika Investment Corporation or Fund. Meron nang na-appoint as the parang the chief executive officer. So the only commensurate position left would be for him to be its chairman. Kaso, ex officio, ang DOF secretary is the chairman, if I'm not mistaken, of the board dun sa Maharlika. So, now that he's no longer SEC, hindi na pwede rin sa kanya. Pero tama naman yung mga nagtatanong, bakit si Recto? Well, I think these are trust issues na for the president. Kasi kilala niya. Kilala niya yung itong si former Senator Ralph. I understand that he was a classmate in LaSalle before. Yun. And he is an economist. I think. Ang undergraduate degree niya is Chem. Hindi chemistry, Commerce. Lok lang. So he's a commerce graduate. And he has units in a master's degree in finance and economics. I think, in economics. Hindi siya natapos sa UP, nag-UAP siya, hindi rin natapos, pero marami na siyang kumbaga, it was a 15-month course. He completed most of it, hindi talaga natapos. So, baka pinatanggal because hindi nag-raise ng enough funds. Well, trabaho naman talaga ng Sec of Finance yan because the revenue generating agencies are under you. Hindi sa dinidefend ko yung gobyerno, pero sabi ni Mount Kevin, ayokong basahin yung ano mo. So, while I agree na medyo delikado na talaga yung position ni Sec Joc, no, because nga of what he said about our military and uniformed services. And please lang, wag niyong i-defend yung sinabi niya. It's not fair to our uniformed services. Pero tama naman siya dun sa pagsasabi niya dun sa sa price cap. 'Di ba? Tama naman 'yun. Price caps have proven historically they don't work. So medyo nagkagulo doon. But the raising revenue also is an issue. So, among others. And of course, hindi na rin natin mapagkaila na a lot of the government officials who are in one way or another related to the Duterte administration, natanggal na lahat ng mid-level executives. So, I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised if that was a factor. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised if it was. Jonelle Fer is asking, sa totoo lang po, kaming sumuporta kay BBM nagsisisi sobra. Pwede ba namin hiramin ng line ni Bea sa movie? Sana si PRRD na ulit. Pwede naman yata. Grabe naman si Facebook user. Kanina pa namin pinag-uusapan dito, naka 41 minutes, tapos tatanungin mo talaga bakit pinalitan si Joc. No? Ayun nga yung pinag-uusapan dito. Sabi ni Noel Zams, hindi kaya yung Maharlika Investment Fund ang dahilan dito? O ano yung dahilan doon? Yun nga, ano yung dahilan sa Maharlika? He was one of those. Bright idea din niya yun. Bahagi siya dun sa ng idea na yun. Pagsulong ng idea na yun. Sabi ni CRTV, ano naman kaya ang i-tax ni Recto para maka-generate more money? But remember, it will still require legislative action. All revenue bills must originate from the Congress. Sabi ni Sonare, same here, kaya di ako nag-BBM because of VP Sara. Kaya din ako nag-BBM because of VP Sara. Sabi ni Dominador, tsaka fan din pala si BBM ni Ate V. Ay, oo nga. No? Sabi ni Amethyst, the next appointee is expected to do the dirty job. Well, it is part of the job. The Secretary of Finance is the head of, di ba, yung mga agencies under him include customs at saka BIR. So yes, revenue generation is part of the job. Di ba? Sabi ni Vener, trust me, Recto is a disaster. I don't have to trust you. I understand the problem here. He's hugely unpopular. And not really an obvious choice. Kumbaga, hindi, yung mga tipong, really? What happened to Carl Chua? Diba? Mas okay yan. But maybe the president found him too young or too connected to Duterte. Alam natin yan. Sabi ni John May, more tax, more revenue, more nakaw. Sabi ni Weng, dito sa TikTok, Ma'am, good evening. Nagtataka rin ako, nung kampanya, wala siyang binabanggit na droga at corruption. O edi, para hindi tayo magulat. Continuity, bahagi yun ng continuity, kayo naman. Sabi ni, how good is Carl Chua? Sabi ni Win-Win. Well, he's good. Okay? Kaya lang, it will also depend on yung president, kung ano talaga yung ina-approve niyang means of revenue generation. Itong si Pilipinas Loves Korea, kanina mo pa pina-flood mo talaga yung TikTok, sabi ka nang sabi na sana si TP lang na lang Secretary of Finance. Okay na, nasabi ko na yung joke mo, okay na? Okay na tayo ha? So, sabi ni Ricardo Mesinas, DOJ Secretary kaya papalitan na rin, baka bigla na lang si De Lima ipalit ni BBM. Alam mo, the fact that people are mentioning that and are not totally surprised indicates to me kung ano talaga yung nakikita natin. Sabi ni JTS, anong position ni Jokno ngayon? Wala pa po. And I don't think he's inclined to accept another position. In-offer sa kanya monetary board but he's not going to be the head of it. So medyo that's a demotion kasi cabinet secretary ka na eh. Tama po ba na kung tax ng commodities and corporations ay dapat hindi tax ng income? Ganito yon, di ba? Meron tayong rules against double taxation and although that is not double taxation, we carry double tax burdens. Di ba? So, you can only tax the people so much. After that, they'll either give up working or, lalaki yung diaspora na maraming aalis. And, di ba, hindi mapipiga mo lang so much. Plus, if lumiliit yung take home, tumataas din ang crime. So, yun yung you can only do so much kumbaga sa taxation. Ang problema, 'di ba? Magi-increase ba kayo ng taxes? Nagbababa kayo ng import duties sa pork and so on. Masakit yung sa pork, alam niyo kung bakit? Marami pa tayong local pork producers. At hindi ganun, kumbaga, they're not giving us the statistics doon sa ASF. Sabi sila na, ayan, kulang ang pork dahil sa ASF, pero walang statistics. Hindi natin alam. Sabi ni Susan, does that mean walang briefing si Jokno kay PBBM kaya ganyan na nangyari? No, lahat may briefing eh. Before nag-start yung term, after elections, may briefing na po lahat kami. And halimbawa, I was informed how we're going to run the information system of the government. With Sec Jokno, meron siya marching orders. Okay, this. Ito kailangan streamlining of revenue generation, and so on. And of course, yung sa taxes. So, di ba yung plain law na ipasa yung 1 and 2? So, iniintay yung 3. Pero ang tagal-tagal lumabas yung decision ng presidente on estate taxes, yung amnesty sa estate taxes. Well, fortunately, lumabas na rin yun. Okay na uli. So, di naman nagbago ang presyo ng pork kahit mag-import. Oo, hindi bumababa. Tama kayo. Sabi ni Ma'am Myra yon sa YouTube. Sabi niya, hindi naman nagbabago. Import tayo ng import. Hindi naman nagbabago. Oy, correction ma'am. Nagbabago pero pataas. Ito sabi ni Mocha Princess, grabe paghugot ng tax sa taong bayan ha. O, totoo yun. Okay, Jed, we can talk about constitutional amendments later on. Sabi ni JTS, daming oligarchs ngayon na sarap ang buhay, nakakamiss si FPRD. So, isa pa yan. Kasi, yun nga, nakikita natin yung move towards privatization, di ba? So, nagpo-privatize tayo ng mga government assets. Yung mga assets na yun yung kumikita. Yan po ang template ng ating mga mayayaman ng big business, ng big industry. Halimbawa ito, we're talking about privatization of the NAIA. Ang NAIA, ang kita niyan every year is 15 billion. Na malinis yan ha, 15 billion. And if you cannot add a runway to NAIA, ano ang improvement na magagawa mo? Other than i-increase nyo yung number of events, meaning number of takeoffs and landings. But you can only do so much, di ba? At some point, with just one runway, mapupuno mo yung number of events. And that's really not much anymore. Sabi ni Noel Zams, iwas na lang tayo sa statistics ngayon. Mali-mali nga ang statistics ni PBBM sa achievement ng admin sa kanyang war on drugs. Ang sakit! Well, yeah, I understand what you mean. Sabi ni John, yan ang mahirap kapag masyadong optimistic. Akala niya kapag hinayaan niya ang yellow cards magkaroon ng puwang sa gobyerno, okay lang. Anong nangyari? All messed up. Ang dami pa kasi yung mga generally revenue generating industries natin are not performing and some of them can be directly correlated to the cabinet. For example, DOT, ang tourism natin. So, yung tourism natin, di ba, ang ina-point dito is a mayor from a small town in Cebu. Now, I'm not saying that she's not a good person or anything. And in fact, si Sec Frasco is a good lawyer. Magaling na abogado yon. And I understand she was a good mayor. However, she has no experience as a tourism secretary. Importante ang tourism to bring revenue to the country. And ito, nasa second year na tayo, hindi pa rin natin nakikita kung ano ang improvement sa tourism sector. As a matter of fact, proud na proud sila, 5-point-something million daw ang dumating na turista, which is still a far cry from the 8 to 12 million that we were bringing it in pre-pandemic. Now, ang problema rin dito, sabi ni Brixo, super articulate si Sec Frasco, unfortunately, hindi na-translate into a good marketing program because that's what the DOT is. The DOT is expected to help the private sector generate income for the country. And wala pa rin ano. So, teka muna, hindi ko nagigets ito. So, Fraki, ano yung point mo? Sabi niya, she was Inday spokes. So, she is BBM's tourism secretary. So, again, I'm going to ask, so, are you saying this is Inday's fault? That she's not performing? Because hindi si Inday ang nagpa-appoint sa kanya, ha? I know that for a fact. Hindi siya. It was, Gov Gwen. Castro? Uy, sabi ni Facebook user, abogado pala si Castro. Sinong Castro? Anong nangyari sa Love Philippines niya? Si Frasco po, yung abogado, siya yung Secretary of Tourism. So yun nga, in Love the Philippines, hindi rin tayo sure kung how it has helped. Okay? So, yun yung that's I don't know what the new Secretary of Finance is going to bring to the table, and obviously we have very, very low expectations based on your opinions. Okay, sabi ni Tony, alam naman nun na panahon sa martial law ay corrupt dahil kasalanan rin ni Inday Sara na binoto si BBM. So, blame game na tayo. So, si BBM ang presidente, kasalanan ninyong lahat na bumoto. So, okay, and tell me how that helps. Diba? How does that help change things? Although, I get it, no, na we should be more circumspect next time. Sabi ni Ma'am Jo, nagbayad lang ng utang na loob si BBM kay Gwen Garcia na nanay ni Frasco. Sabi ni Christopher Yu, if ang DT ay makakota, hello Mara Rojas. Well, possibility. I'm not discounting any possibility right now. Diba? So, sabi ni Ju, taxpayer ko pero nakakalula ang budget at extraordinary fund ng HOR tapos gagamitin lang sa pansariling interes. Pwede ba kunin ang budget ng HOR sa gambling? Pwede ba kunin ang budget ng HOR sa gambling? Doon na lang. Well, buti sana kung inaayos natin ang gambling, nasa na yung pag-aayos noon? Alam mo, the time to have fixed it was during the time na merong yung isabong. Kaso, ayaw ni Presidente Digong, so okay na yun. Ang naman next is, so ano pa yung dapat revenue raising? Yan, DTI. DTI has not fulfilled its promise, puro press release. At kahit yung mga pledges, dun sa foreign direct investment, sinasabi, ang daming pumasok, trillions daw ang pledges. Alam niyo, kung naniwala na lang tayo kay DTI, sabihin natin, wow, ang galing-galing. Ang dami pala nating foreign direct investments. Wag na tayong mag-charter change. Bakit natin papalitan yung mga economic provisions? Ang galing-galing ng DTI, magpasok ng investment pledges, diba? Diba? Siguro ibalik na lang natin sa kanila. Oh, charter change kayo dyan. Kala ko ba, ang laki ng pledges? Sabi ni Pobreng Pinoy, dapat siguro sa next election, piliin na lang natin sino best in corruption, no? Tapos contest silang lahat. Oh, pero pa-contest na lang tayo, volleyball na lang. Or something like that. Sabi ni Happy Shop, may tax na nga ako sa trabaho. May tax pa pati ako sa pagbili ng pagkain, transport, panood ng sine. Totoo yan. Yung iba nga nag-work ka na nga sa gobyerno, magbabayad ka pa rin ng taxes. Sabi ni John Doe, ano yung case dismissed? Wow, talaga? Late po kasi kayo Dismissed na yung kaso ni Franz Castro versus President Duterte, former President Duterte. Sabi ni Mercy, daming biglang yumaman sa gobyerno ngayon, ba't di nyo sila i-check? Ako ba kausap niya? Ingat naman kayo sa pronouns. But di yon sila i-check. For sure, dami din nagbabayad ng tax sa kanila. Tama kayo kasi you know that income taxes are what we call source blind. Ibig sabihin, kahit nanggaling yan sa illegal, bayad ka pa rin ng taxes on that. Sabi ni Escar, yung ba't magdagdag na naman ang PhilHealth, di ba nakaraan lang, laki nang nawala sa kanila? Nakakompute po kasi ang contributions regardless of how they do. At saka nasa batas po yun. Di ako nagbibiro, nasa batas talaga yung amounts that you have to pay sa PhilHealth. It's part of the Universal Healthcare Act. And it will, yun po yung, ay computed na yan. May actuarial computation na po siya. So, yeah, tagal kong nag-explain niya noon. Ang daming nagtataka tungkol dun sa pagtaas ng PhilHealth. Sinasabihan pa ako, hindi naman nag-benefit ang OFWs dyan Well, they don't directly benefit right away. They will benefit upon retirement if they retire here. Sabi ni Kier, pati po yung build ni FPRD parang di naramdam. Kasi build better more yung program. Pero yun nga, ang sabi ang vague ng press release, ang sabi 51% na daw ng dapat tapusin ng administrasyon na ito ay natapos na. Tapos sino ba yung nag-compute? Parang ilang 70 kilometers lang. Kayo naman, hindi ba, isa sa inaangal natin ay yung mga non-performing cabinet ng ating Pangulo. Kasi ito sabi ni hi kay Echo. Sabi ni Ma'am Chisa, Ma'am ba? Ano ba ang hugot ni Presidente sa mga cabbage na tinatapon na lang? Cabbage na tinatapon na lang? Ano yan, sa agri? Akala ko cabinet, mali yung basa ko. Pero, hi kay Ma'am Annie! Miss ko na kayo. Kamusta ang Hong Kong? So, okay. Para sa akin, itong pag-ease out or pagtanggal kay Sec Joc, may basis yan. Hindi ako masyado makakaangal dyan. But like you, bakit si Recto? Diba? Tignan natin how he's going to perform. Any difference po ng PDAF pork barrel at MOOE? PDAF pork, parang ang layo. PDAF pork barrel. Yung priority development, ano ba yun? PDAF ba yung yun yung sa Congress. Yun po yung pork barrel. Yung extraordinary fund ay gagamitin mo for expenses talaga siya. So, inililiquidate po yun. Kung sa bagay, lahat naman nililiquidate. Pero expenses po yung isa project-based. Sabi ni Yi, kakatawa yung mga BBM vloggers tuwa sa investment pledges. Pledges pa nga lang Ang pagkakaalala ko, naaalala ko tuloy, alam niyo yung pang-polish na furniture na tawag pledge. Parang ganun. Sabi ni Sir Danilo, ano na kaya nangyari sa sobrang travel allowance? Baka naging savings. Di pa natin alam. Mahirap nang magtanong, di ba? Sabi ni Vigor, di ba pwedeng ipatigil ang pamimili ng mga pirma para sa People's Initiative ng Congress? Legal ba to? Ito yung problema, sir. Hindi po umaabot yan. It's not yet a government activity. Right now, it is a purely private activity. May nagsusulong noon. Tinanong ni Kusina, anong iniinom ko? Si Kwate po. Okay, so, nawala yung ko. Saan daw galing ang tablea ko? Yes po, fermented ito. Galing sa Davao del Norte. Sobrang mura daw ng cabbage ngayon, sabi ni Chisa. Di po ba pwede patigil? Okay, yan. Yung People's Initiative sa Congress. Right now, it is a private activity. Private persons yung nagsusulong. Yan yung presumption natin, no? Of course, we suspect na Kongreso ang nagpapausad niyan. Kasi ayon dun sa ilang mga mayor na kausap natin, ay tinatawagan sila mismo ng isang napakatanyag na kongresista. Actually, may dalawang nagtatawag na kongresista. At isa doon, super tanyag. Diba? At kinukulit sila mag-deliver ng a certain number of signatures. So, while we presume that it is a private endeavor, there's evidence to indicate that there are public interests involved here. So right now, ang nagpapatakbo ay mga pribadong partido. So it is not corruption yet. It's not, kumbaga, out and out, compensation for a signature, di ba? Outright signature buying ang posibleng nangyayari dito o panloloko. Ang pinaka-solusyon kasi dyan ay yung i-avoid itong signature campaign na ito at magsulong tayo ng panibagong proseso. Kasi noon, nung first round, dun pa lang sa Santiago versus Comelec, si Attorney Jesus Delfin, ang approach nila noon dito sa Charter Change to People's Initiative ay maggagawa ka ng petition doon sa Comelec and you will request the Comelec to set a date for the signature gathering. That way, may i-announce, yung mga gustong pumirma dito sa we will make this available in certain public areas. So para siyang eleksyon, except it's for people to be able to sign up. May nakalaan na araw para dyan. And that way, merong campaign before the gathering of signatures, public yung explanation. This is open to the public. Makikita ng publiko yung mga nangyayari. Dito, hindi tayo privy sa mga pangyayari at kung hindi dahil sa social media, hindi natin nakikita yung mga maling orientation, yung mga sinasabi na yayaman kayo pag pumirma kayo dyan. Yung iba naman nagsasabi, resibo lang po ito sa ayuda, pirma lang po dito, yung mga ganyan. So, ang daming nangyayari that are not exactly on the up and up. Pero wala pa tayong maibintang na government official kasi hindi pa involved ang mga government officials, maliban lang kung ang mga barangay ay sila mismo nagsusulong nito. In which case, pwede natin i-administrative case yung barangay officials. So, yun. Yung di ba pwedeng ipatigil. Ang pwede natin gawin, ipabaliwala yung signature campaign. Ito sabi ni Vigor, sa kanila naman daw, yung congressman mismo ang nagpatawag sa mga tao para pumirma. Private ba yun? Well, he's not acting in his official capacity po, pero pwede nating gawin yon bahagi ng pagrereklamo o oposisyon sa petition na ifa-file doon sa Comelec. Sabi ni Jonathan, saan po pupunta ang sinasabing savings ng government agencies? Nire-realign po yung karamihan. Kung hindi, babalik siya sa Treasury. Sabi ni Ricardo, dito sa Ilocos, halos napapirma na mga tao. Hindi nga alam ng mga tao kung anong pinipirmahan. Managed by barangay officials, pinagsasabihan ko nga ang nagpapapirma na hindi nyo alam ang ginagawa ninyo. Ako umaasa ako dun sa sinabi ni Attorney Harry Roque na magpa-file siya ng kaso sa Korte Suprema. So, meron tayong maaasahan sana. Sabi ni Kimchi Sushi, paano kung kunin ko yung 100 at pipirma din ako tapos pwede ko bang sabihin na di ko alam ang pinipirmahan ko? Then you'd be lying, di ba? Huwag naman po tayo magsisinungaling. So, pwedeng tanggapin nyo yung 100 pero hindi nyo pipirmahan. This government is very sketchy. Now, ito yung worry ko. Ito na naman, gano'n naman ang pinag-uusapan natin, nakakapagod. But here it is. Minamadali yung signature campaign. At kanina lang, ina-announce ng Congress na very proudly, baka daw by July, maaari nang magpa-set for referendum. Ano yung significance ng July? Sipin nyo lang. 2 years na po. So, I think, I don't know, kung ano ang punteriya ng activity na ito. May mga nagsasabi na para ma-distract daw tayo para sa ginagawa ng gobyerno. Ang kaso, ang problema, di ba? Kahit anong distraction ang gawin nyo, mahal pa rin ang pagkain, kuryente, tubig, transportasyon, internet na magulo, and so on, di ba? Sira pa rin yung tren, hindi pa rin natuloy yung Mindanao Rail, hindi natin maramdaman yung war on drugs, hindi rin natin maramdaman yung build better more. Ma-traffic pa rin, hindi pa rin hindi natin nakikitang nadadagdagan ng maraming mga kalye at parang amoy na amoy yung pambobola doon sa sinasabing farm to mansion, farm to market road. True. By July. Anong swear? Sabi, patay sindi na naman ang internet ko. Ano nangyayari sa inyo? Anong nangyayari sa akin pala? Bakit kaya? Bakit nawala? Anong nangyayari? Grabe, ang gulo, no? Partida yan. Wala naman akong minumura, wala naman akong pinipersonal na kahit sino mga government officials dito. Sabi ni JTS, di surface pa ngayon si Trillanes at Coseteng, amoy Senado. Well, malapit na po kasi ang ang filing ng certificates of candidacy, by the way, for the 2025 elections ay October 2024. So, maingay itong taon na ito. Bakit mas malaki daw ang budget ng appropriations ng Provincial Confidential Fund compared to MOOE for barangay aid? Yan po ang tinatawag ng the wisdom of Congress and the executive. Kasi yung National Expenditure Program po, ginagawa yan ng DBM at the direction or the directive of the President. Sabi ni doesn't have to be true, Noy 3Ks, kaklase kaibigan kabarilan, Bonget 1K only kasi grabe. You know what guys, I understand your feelings nag-gets ko yan. And yun nga kaya nga minsan nahihiya na akong magkwento ng bad news sa inyo kasi masama na yung pakiramdam natin ngayon pa lang pagkatapos madadagdagan pa yung bad news. Sabi ni Jerry Celedio, budget ng government agency scrutinized by HOR, pro-budget ng HOR, pero ang budget ng HOR unlimited, walang bumubusisi. Pwede bang magkaroon ng tripartite committee, executive, Supreme Court, NGOs to scrutinize and allocate the budget for HOR? No, but that's the reason why it is made public. Sabi ni Mel, it's better to hear the bad news para aware kami. So yan, tama naman din po kayo dyan. Sabi ni JA, July ang referendum in time for SONA. My best bet here is that they'll do it right after the SONA. So, kukuyugin nila tayo ng good news, and say, ang galing-galing ng gobyerno. Tapos isang damakmak na press release na, grabe, the Congress is so masino or so galing. Diba? They're so nakatutok, ganyan. Bet natin. Yan ang gagawin. Super duper maraming propaganda materials about how well Congress is doing in time for the referendum. At wag pong kakalimutan na pag tinanong kayo, itong People's Initiative, for or against, kasi nakahalo-halo yung issue. Yun yung na-point out sa karambola ni Kong Jonat. Sabi niya, unang-una, hindi pa nga natin alam kung paano gagawin ito. Pangalawa, yung People's Initiative, tapos meron pang ad campaign, di ba, na hindi magkatugma. Kasi yung People's Initiative, ang purpose niya palawakin yung powers ng Kongreso para kayang-kaya nilang madaliin ng sila lang yung proposed changes sa saligang batas. Gets nyo? Pinapalakas natin itong Kongreso na nang-api sa atin. Lalo natin pinalalakas. Di ba? Ito yung punto ko dito. Ang Kongreso, pag nagpapasa ng ordinaryong batas, kailangan nila yung Senado. Pero sa proposal nila, para makapag-propose ng pagbabago sa saligang batas, pwedeng walang Senado. Pwedeng walang konsultasyon sa tao. Kasi minamadali. Anong purpose ng pagmamadali ninyo? May tinatago sila. Ayaw nila ng laganap na diskusyon. Ayaw nila na malalim yung diskusyon natin. At tingnan mo, halos nakatago. Nasaan yung kampanya? Nasaan yung paglalantad ng Ito ang magagawa natin kapag pinasa yung People's Initiative at lumawak ang powers ng Congress. And as a matter of fact, ang tahimik ng Kongreso sa People's Initiative. Sila ang major beneficiary dyan. In fact, sila ang only beneficiary dyan. Bakit ang tahimik nila? Bakit hindi man lang nila masabi na, ipasa nyo naman yung People's Initiative para mas madali kami makakagawa ng batas para sa inyo. Hindi rin nila masikmura masabi yon? Sabi ni Moore, secret lang. Why resign po as sec? So glad pa naman kami. Alam niyo, na-appreciate ko yung support that I got from ordinary people nung nasa gabinete ako. Yun yung malaking pasasalamat ko. That was the highlight parate of my term, was that I felt supported by the people. So sabi ni, hi, I am Shanwing. Yung ingay ni Atty. Trixie is yun pagpapaad ng Chacha, yan ang ingay nila. Yun na nga yung mga maiingay parts are the mababago na ang saligang batas, may papasok na ang FEDPAL and all that. Talaga? Hindi yan ang People's Initiative, ha? Ang People's Initiative isn't about FEDPAL. Ang People's Initiative is to make Congress more powerful. Gagawing mas makapangyarihan ang Kamara de Representante. Sabi ni Jurgen, kunwari pa yung ginagawa ng babraso sila. Di ba? Sabi ni Jogador, People's Initiative is pure BS, PI nila. Ngayon, ang nakikita ko, kasi sinasabi na hindi na talaga very transparent na ang COMELEC at sinasabi nila, hindi, abandon na yung Santiago, wala naman sila makipakitang pruweba, gayon pa man. Ibig sabihin, nung nagpa-interview si Chairman George Garcia na wala namang legal impediment dito sa signature campaign na ito, it means na ang inire-require lang ng COMELEC ay mag-submit ng signatures at saka yung kumpleto yung petition. At sufficient ito in form and substance. So, kibera kung wala pang batas, di ba? Ito pa yung masaya niyan. Ang Kongreso, ang Senado, nagsulong ng Senate bill para punuin yung mga pagkukulang ng RA 6735, which is the People's Initiative Law, na sinabi ng Supreme Court ay void. So para hindi maging void, nag-file na ng bill ang Senado, meaning ina-acknowledge ng Senado at yes, kahit ng House at kahit ng Kongreso dapat, na may pagkukulang pa yung batas and therefore, it cannot execute this signature campaign. Sabi ni Jade Doe, sa interview ni Senator Amy sa The Source, allegedly nakita niya ang timeline ng pagpapapirma, June 17 plebiscite, then July 8 certified and approved by COMELEC. Ayan na. Niloloko nila tayo. Grabing panloloko to, ang kapal ng mukha, sobra. Diba? Alam mo, the more I think about it, kasi the way they are acting now, it's as though tapos na. Done deal na ito. The way they are acting is as though, yung kumbaga, may konti, nararamdaman mo na yung yabang na mayroon na formality lang po lahat ng ito. Tapos, ito pa, sasabayan pa na, bakit may 500 billion na ayuda allowance na allocation? Yan ay, para pag maraming nagre-reklamo, pag naipasa ito, syempre, it is going to cause unrest. Akala ba ng Congress, walang balik ito? Akala ba ng Congress, matutuwa tayo sa ginagawa nilang pagbabaliwala sa ating opinion? Di ba ba? They're not even bothering to ask us. These signature campaigns, kalukuhan, panloloko, panlilin lang. They're not asking the people who know, they're asking the people who they can fool. And so, ano lang ang kailangan na vote? So, it's 50+1, di ba? Majority, simple majority lang ang kailangan bumoto para maipasa ang amendment sa saligang batas that will give more powers, lubos na kapangyarihan sa Kongreso mag-propose ng mga pagbabago sa saligang batas. I feel insulted, frankly. Alam niyo kung walang internet, maintindihan mo, they will think that they can get away with it. Pero ito, hindi harap-harapan. They're not bothering to even listen to us. They're not even bothering to issue statements, not even bothering to defend themselves. Hindi, go lang ng go. Tapos sino ba yung grupo behind this signature campaign? WAI. Tapos meron pang pirma, yung grupo na naglabas ng mga ads para gumulo yung usapan. Buti sana lubos na yung pagkakatiwala natin dito sa COMELEC matapos ng mga sinabi ni Attorney Glenn, duda na naman tayo uli. Sabi ni Frocky, baka misdirection yan para hindi pag-usapan ng MOOE. Mag-charter change tayo para hindi pag-usapan ng MOOE. I think you're ignoring something. The big part of this is additional powers for Congress. Yan ang habol nila. Power for the Congress. More power for the Congress. Kasi isipin niyo, pwede nilang baguhin din yung batas para hindi every 5 years yung pag-amyenda ng saligang batas. Yung mga tipong every time they feel na, ay, paano ba ako kikita dito? Sige, pagitan natin yung provisions ng saligang batas so that we will all benefit from that, kaming mga nasa Kongreso. What's to stop them? They're asking us for more power. Well, actually, they're not even bothering to ask. They're just taking this and giving themselves more power. Sabi ni Bisor Vlogs, bakit si PBBM tahimik sa lahat ng sumasalaula sa bayan natin? Hindi na yan pwedeng sabihin na na pruweba muna bago sagot. Actually, tahimik siya because one or two things. Either he doesn't really like to talk much to the people, which I think is crazy because you shouldn't be president if you don't like your own people or you cannot be bothered to talk to us. I think he really thinks that he can do leadership without bothering to talk to us. Sabi ni Palag Kalipi, sabi mo, okay sa akin si Atty. Garcia ng COMELEC, for me, in-expose niya yung maling sistema ukol sa PI na yan. In-expose, sinabi nga niya, itutuloy. Ang mangyayari dito is let's forget all pretenses. Huwag na tayong maglokohan. Binigyan na now pa lang kiniklaim na ng Kongreso yung kanilang additional powers. Stop thinking that there's a silver lining in this. There's no silver lining. Congress will become more powerful. And what's to stop them from making more and more and more laws that will just benefit them and keep us poor and ignorant? In fact, poorer and more ignorant. There is no silver lining here. There's no, ay, na-expose niya yung ganito. He didn't intend to. I'm not gonna give him credit for not intending, for inadvertently exposing something. It's not a credit to him. It's an insult to him because inadvertently nailabas niya something that they were supposed to be keeping secret. Sabi ni Joe, I go for Chacha Concon and PI if Duterte ang nakaupo. Wala akong tiwala sa administrasyon ngayon, lalo na sa HOR speaker. Paano tayo magtitiwala? They're already railroading a constitutional change. Diba? Tiwala isn't even in this anymore. They're just going ahead, parang nanonood na lang tayo. That's all we can do. We're just watching. It's like watching a train wreck. And the train wreck is our lives. Ay. Sabi ni Mercy, ang galing nila gumawa ng kabalastugan pero yung totoong functions nila, wali, sarili lang pinataba. Totoo yan. Totoo yan. Nako, if there is any reason for us to be dissatisfied with government, it's what Congress is doing. Naman, kapal naman ninyo. Sabi ni Ma'am Christine, BBM sounds like he doesn't care. Even looks like he has an axe to grind against the PH. Sabi ni Chisa, para Marcos pa rin daw ang next. Ang sakit isipin. Baka naman Romualdez ang next. Sabi ni Swiss, watching from Geneva, grabe pong nangyayari dyan. Nakakawalang tiwala na sa gobyerno. Magiging poor na naman tayo. Congress, shame on them. Isa pa yan, Ganang hashtag yan. Shame on you, Congress. Sino niloloko nila? And you noticed? Nobody is answering. Tayo lang yung nagsabi tungkol dito sa charter change na to, ha? Dun sa pakay ng Kongreso na dagdagan ng powers nila. Dun sa mga ensaymada, may nagsalita ba? Diba? Dun sa ensaymada, naiintindihan ba nila kung anong pinaggagawa dito sa sa signature campaign? Sabi ni Ray, walang shame ang Congress. Pwede po ba kayong mga attorney ay magsama-sama para alam mo, kahit isang abogado lang kayang-kaya na po yan. At si Attorney Harry na nga daw po. Ito, sabi ni Tongtong Rosie, joke no ba daw ang dahilan kung bakit nag-gray list ang Pilipinas? Nag-gray list tayo kasi hindi nga natin inaayos yung ating anti-money laundering procedures. So, which yes, Jokno had every capability of doing. Sabi ni Ray, constitutional ba yung ginagawa nilang pagkalap ng pirma for People's Initiative if they get enough signatures? it's not the correct procedure. Okay? Wag kagad sa Constitution pumunta sa enacting legislation muna. Unang-una, hindi natin alam kung may enacting legislation ito. Sabi ni Juanito, tama po, drama lang po itong papirma sa mga tao, pero ang totoo gawa na po yun sa COMELEC. Diba? The nerve of these people. How, alam niyo, but one thing I noticed, we can slam Congress. You know why? Sensitive sila. Hindi masaktan. Hurt. Yeah, sticks and stones talaga na nasasaktan sila dun sa mga sinasabi natin. So don't forget, now, when we post, when we talk, we just slam Congress. Congress, kunwari pa kayo. Sabi ni Glenn, sa last survey, sabi nila hindi naman bumaba ang trust rating ni PBBM. Totoo kaya yan? Bumaba before this last survey. Tapos, ito yung nakakatawa. Dito sa last survey, sinasabi nila, tumaas. So, hindi totoo yan kasi nasa margin of error, 3 percentage points lang. Hindi siya natuloy bumaba. Yes, that's the best scenario in their case. Sabi ni Jasper, sa contract, bago pumirma, nakadraft na contract, bakit inuuna ng Kongreso yung pirma? Yun kasi yung nasa procedure. Pirma muna, tapos i-attach yung signatures to the petition. COMELEC ang gumawa ng rules eh. Sabi ni Edgy, if these congressmen are sensitive, would they cower? Should the military speak against them? Actually, we're getting to the point where somebody has to protect the people from brazen insults like this. Yung brazen diminution of our rights. Sabi ni Art, nasa right path pa ba ang gobyernong ito? Not Congress. Definitely not Congress. The president, I feel, is not doing enough. And he's not reining in the excesses of his cousin. Kumbaga. Sabi ni Shamrap, di ba sabi ng Supreme Court na ang opisyal hindi dapat balat sibuyas, lalo na pag-elected? Ang problema, that's not a law. Sabi ng Supreme Court, officials should not be onion skin. Kaya ginamit nila yon to dismiss a petition filed by a government official. So, hindi natin ma-enforce yan. Gayunpaman, it is a good thing to remember for our government officials. Unfortunately, ewan, makulit sila. Sabi ni Yi, Congress historically is subservient to the President. There, feel free to connect the dots. Sabi ni Happy Fam, he doesn't want to do anything against his cousin. And that's scary. So, let's keep talking. But let's keep talking to the people. Hindi pwedeng ganito eh. Hindi talaga pwede. Nakakaloka. Nakakasakit ng damdamin. At saka parang ang feeling ko, oh my gosh, paano ang future natin? Eh, okay na dati. Ay, sabi ni Briones, siguro ang Pilipinas is now ruled by Kamag-anak Incorporated and this People's Initiative move is probably tanggalin na natin yung probably to perpetuate themselves in power for life. I'm pretty sure na some of our officials, hint, are the types na once nahawakan na nila yung power, they're not going to let go or it's not going to go well if we challenge them. Sabi ni Kabkab, but wala ka na sa politics. I miss seeing you on TV every speech. I'm still on TV, eh? Just not as cabinet secretary, di ba? Sabi ni Phoebe, bakit tahimik si VP Sara? Well, I think there's a timing to everything. Kasi siya yung magde-decide ng timing kung magsasalita siya, hindi tayo. Kaya ako, I don't like asking questions about VP Inday. Kasi siya yung pwedeng magsalita, no? And well, the president, we can ask. Kasi, hello, you're in power. You are the father of the nation. Your children, your people are crying out for your directions to guide us, to assuage our hurt feelings. Usapin niyo po kami, Mr. President. But if you continue to ignore us, it's not going to look good for your administration. You'll go down in history as a terrible president. Sabi ni Pobreng Pinoy, I wonder how you still manage to do DWIC despite and in spite. do DWIC? Well, it's not like as if it doesn't come with its own challenges. Sabi ni Tong Tong, walang mangyayari kasi ang daming elite. Elite nga yung nilalagay natin sa gobyerno, but it's not completely our fault, ha? Don't blame bobotantes. That's just too simplistic. Kaya mayroong bobotantes dahil ang sasama ng ating mga ng mga kongresista, senador, all our elected officials have failed us. They have failed us and they continue to fail us. They continue to fail us. But now, they're not just failing us. They are outright conducting a fraud on the Filipino people. Kunwari pa ko'y People's Initiative. People's Initiative, my rear end. Tingnan natin din, mayroon pa akong iniintay na magsasalita. And that's the Senate. Sila yung mababawasan ng power. Sa kanila inaagaw yung power. Nasa ng pagkikibo nila. They'll probably just go ahead and take it to the Supreme Court and ask for a TRO. Sana bigyan ng TRO ito. Sana ma-TRO ito because then, I'm going to thumb my nose on Congress. O ha? Yeah, I'm not a very good, winner. Pagka ganyan. So, yun. Sabi ni Korean lettering, Marcos was given a second chance and they wasted it. Can you imagine? May redemption arc ka na. You come back to the country and you manage to claw your way back up into power. And then you do this. What a dud, man. Not the person, but the redemption arc, di ba? Ako kasi big believer ako in redemption eh. Na pwede tayo, dahil tao tayo, nagkakamali tayo. And sometimes, di ba, we're just caught up in circumstances where we are left humiliated, that we've lost, we're down in the dumps, the whole world seems to be against you. And then you turn things around. Yun yung mga epic stories, yung mga ganyan, yung bangon ako, ludurugin kita, parang FPJ na sa umpisa, binabato, sa umpisa, natatalo, sa umpisa, tapos biglang ito na, pabangon, tapos we will make this nation great again. Di ba yun yung campaign promise ni Presidente Marcos Sr.? We will make this nation great again. And here comes his son to complete that promise and then fails. Sayang. What a waste, man. I'm still hoping. Pero grabe. Grabe, di ba? Estapa. Parang Game of Thrones lang na wala ang redemption arc, sabi ni Mama Mia. Totoo, di ba? Hindi imbis na si Daenerys Targaryen, makakaupo na siya sa Iron Throne, but at what cost? Hindi, Game of Thrones talaga. Kasi, nung nabaliw si Daenerys, she killed people, she attacked her own people she was going to rule over. Di ba? Tayo, ina-attack na tayo. I feel attacked, okay? But, what I feel is that we are oppressed. Tayo yung nakakadena bigla. So, sabi ni Merla Arcega, pinaglaban mo noon si BBM attorney. Hindi pwede kami magkamali. Diba? Sabi ni Dominador Dumaraos, BBM said don't distract him from his works. He said that? What work? I would be very happy to hear from him. Kasi he is his own best spokesperson, parang si Duterte. Be very happy to be proven wrong on this one. Sabi, si Sarah daw si Jon Snow. Pwede. Pero, iba yung redemption arc naman ni Jon Snow. Sabi ni M. Gamboa, stop this madness. I agree. It's madness. Exactly. What I'm wondering is, alam nila na, the people are rapidly losing their trust, regardless of what appears in these survey things. I'm starting to think na these surveys, they're ridiculous. They're out of touch. Sabi ni Ma'am Merla, kasama ako noon sa nakipaglaban, kaya disappointed talaga ako. Ma'am, you can come here and sit beside me and hold my hand because that's exactly how I feel. Sakit eh. Sabi ni Muichiro, ito din daw ang nangyari kay Marcos Sr. at Vicente Duterte. That's interesting. Sabi ni Renato, nakakainis po. Sabi ni Ray, sino si Sir Sisi? Sabi ni Nautico, Close Initiative, all I know is Two People's Initiative. Patunayan mo nga yan. Patunayan mo nga yan in the face of overwhelming evidence. Yan, masasabi mo pa ba yan? True pa ba tong People's Initiative na to? Sabi ni Anesha, hindi po makaya ni PBBM magpag-redeem ng Marcos family kasi misis niya pure. Alam nyo, I don't know, sometimes I think that we're using the First Lady as an excuse for the failings of her husband. Parang ganon. I really don't like to talk about the First Lady because sometimes I'm not sure if we're being fair. Para sa akin, we look to our leaders. Sino ba yung inelect natin? Sino ba yung mga nandyan? Sino ba yung may hawak sa tinatawag nating levers of power? Sabi ni Ray Garcia, far from redeeming their name, he should be in control to be able to redeem his father's legacy. Why let this legacy be destroyed or tainted by the lawless na his cousin? Ito yung nakakatawa dyan. It's a redemption arc nila, di ba? The Marcos name, the name of Marcos Sr., we were starting to become more objective about how he ran government, di ba? Kasi nakikita naman natin, he did get to do good things. He did, ako, nakikita ko lang ang CCP, everything is all right, di ba? Pero, ang dami niyang naisip, malalim siya mag-isip, mariredeem, kayang i-redeem siya. But now, titignan mo natin, where did Marcos Sr. fail? Where did he lose control? What was his weaknesses? Kasi ngayon, nagiging, the pendulum has swung. Kumbaga dati, di ba, super anti Marcos Sr. And then it started to swing towards the middle. Kasi, syempre, may Duterte, ni-redeem ni Duterte. He talked to Amy, and si BBM and all that. Pero hindi pa nare-redeem, wala pa dun sa full arc. Bumabalik na naman. Ay, nako. Sabi ni Turquoise Blue, ito yung expectation versus reality. Sabi ni Andrew Hoffer na Piña, #maling akala tayo. Para dito tayo mahuhubog at masyasharpen ang ating pagmamahal sa inang bayan. Sabi ni G, nalungkot ako dito sa sinasabi mo. Sabi niya, ako super loyalist ako talaga pero super disappointed talaga sa sitwasyon now. Ang pinaka naiisip ko na lang sa panahon na ito is learning moment. Diba? Masakit. It's the way you learn. You make mistakes, you learn. There's no such sound-minded neurons that are chemically altered, sabi ni Johan. Sabi ni Ma'am Ninette, obvious na obvious nga eh. Ito, sabi ni Sir Francis, which is actually very sensible. I support the Marcoses, but I don't romanticize the Marcos legacy. He had 20 years to implement his plans. Kung sa bagay, tama ka doon. He had 20 years. Ang problema yata ng unang Marcos is hindi niya alam kung kailan siya bibitiw. Sabi ni Purple's Kitchen, dapat nakinig tayo kay Duterte. I do regret that. I do regret na sinuway natin si Presidente Duterte, no? Sabi ni Muichiro Tokito, I like his words, taga mo na kahit saan, attorney, pero si BBM na ang huling Marcos na iboboto ko. I hope naririnig yan ni Sandro. You know, the truth is, Sandro is actually a nice guy. But as government officials, even BBM, he's truly a nice guy. But as government officials, they suck. Ako din, attorney, sabi ni Marie Fiona, never again, Marcos. Sabi ni Mel, the ticket they have was Sara to win the elections. Oo nga, diba? Ito yung masama nun. Ginamit si Inday. Si Inday nga yung susi para yung full support na kumuha nila lahat ng DDS. It isn't for me so much the numbers, pero nakuha nila yung rabidity ng DDS. Yung pagtanggol ng 6 na taon kay Presidente Duterte, nakuha nila yung angas na yun. Sabi ni Jam, ano masasabi mo sa Chacha? People's Initiative, niloloko nila tayo. So, may panloloko nandito sa People's Initiative, asahan ninyo lolokohin din tayo sa Chacha. Dun sa sa CONAS. And take note, nobody is talking about constitutional convention dun sa mga sa mga promotor ng Chacha. Nobody is talking about Concon. Bakit ayaw ninyo ng Concon? Sasabihin nyo, mahal. 500 billion nga nilalaan para sa ayuda. Ilang billion ng unprogrammed funds. Tapos titipirin nyo kami sa Constitutional Convention. Hindi naman kayo masyadong halata niyan, di ba? And I'm so sorry na maangas ang salita ko. Naku, pasensya na, may init ang ulo ko. I am so, tama yan, sabi ni Doom, I feel your exasperation. Because I am exasperated. Di ba? How dare you tell me mahalang Constitutional Convention? Naglaan nga kayo ng ilang, 700 billion para sa sa unprogrammed funds? Sino? Tapos dadamutan nyo kami ng Constitutional Convention? Are you stark raving nuts? And pag nagka-Constitutional Convention, I'm not counting on it, but kung sakasakaling may maaksidente dyan at magkaroon ng Concon, itong pagdadagdag ng ng powers ng Kongreso will be the first thing I'm taking out, or at least proposing to take out. What the heck? Kaya kinabahan na naman ako uli sa unicameral. Kasi tignan nyo, yan ang gusto ng Kongreso. They see, they are virtually getting a unicameral Congress. Now pa lang, ngayon napapaisip ako, tama ba tayo mag-unicameral? Tingnan niyo yung ginagawa ng Kongreso sa atin ngayon. Who is going to check on the unicameral legislation? Diba? They're going to be in power forever and their kids will take over and their grandkids will take over. And good luck kung tayo professionals na, baka our great-grandchildren will be beggars. What the heck? Nakakapraning. Tama si Dumo. Sabi ni Merla Arcega, GMA should stand up. No, Ma'am Merla, we should stand up. Tama na yung umaasa-asa tayo dito sa mga opisyalis who keep letting us down. Sabi ni Yi, extra passionate. Hindi, alam niyo kung bakit? Nakakatakot yung pagmamadali nila dito sa People's Initiative. If this was an honest thing, if wala silang tinatago, bakit nyo minamadali? What is the rush? No, what's the rush? Bakit kayo nagmamadali? May sunog? Ano nangyayari? I'm waiting for the military to talk about this. I am waiting talaga. This is madness. Sabi ni David Goliath, binoto man natin o hindi, nabudol pa rin. Sobra po talaga nakakasama ng kalooban ng ginagawa ni BBM. Well, let's not discount the cousin, ha? Sobrang nakakagalit siya kahit isa sa pinangako niya wala siyang ginawa. Pero focus, charter change. I think the reason hindi siya nagsasalita is kasi magkakaroon siya ng complicity. Sa ngayon, ang nakikita natin, Kongreso yung gumagalaw. Okay? Particularly and specifically the House of Representatives. Si Presidente, no talk, no mistake. Diba? He's not taking a side because he cannot openly take the side of his cousin. Kasi it's so unpopular right now. At least yung cousin niya, hindi siya natatakot na magmukhang whatever. Pero, alam na natin, dahil hindi nagsasalita si Pangulo, he is not on our side. He's not on the side of the people. Diba? I reiterate, this is a good man, but he is not a good leader. Even, if they keep telling us and reminding us of how powerless we are, we might end up one of these days reminding them where the power comes from. It isn't from them. Sabi ni pobreng Pinoy, ha, to the no talk, no mistake. Siya yung hindi nagtataas ng kamay sa recitation. Grabe, ang galing mo ang galing niyan. Sabi ni Ray, elitista ang banat ng presidente ngayon, hindi na mamansin. Sabi, di ba tama? Siya yung hindi nagre-raise ng hand sa recitation. Sabi ni Ray Baha, why is the AFP silent? I don't know. I cannot speculate on why. Well, general rule kasi yung AFP, hindi naman dapat talaga nagsasalita sila. So, we have to wait for somebody who can articulate what they're thinking. Sabi ni Ana Chan, konyotic. Sabi ni Ronnie Mercado, he can talk only on the podium with a teleprompter. Ang sakit naman yan. Actually, kaya naman niya na magsalita yung extemporaneous, pero you're right. Kapag nakikita natin na nagre-rely siya sa teleprompter, ibig sabihin natatakot siya magsalita. But we can actually exploit that, di ba? Yung, bakit siya natatakot? Ano ang kinatatakutan niya? Kanino siya takot? Sa atin ba? Is he afraid of his popularity ratings going down? Who does he fear? Sabi ni Julbert, bilis eh. Ano na nangyari sa kaso ni General Macanas na i-file daw ni General Acorda? So, hindi ko pa nga nakikita eh. So, let's see ha. Tingnan natin kung ano yung nangyari. Sige, sa next live natin, hanapin natin yung mga ano na yan, yung mga pending cases na ganyan. Pag-usapan natin yan, kailangan natin pag-usapan yan. So, that's another dagdag ha. Another dagdag. Dagdag din yan. Sorry. Another dagdag. Uy, si Glimar. Humihirit. Kulay pink yung ano niya, yung sabi niya dun sa ano sa TikTok. So ngayon, balak niyo na yata mag-EDSA 3. Ay nako, darling. May problema talaga ang appreciation mo ng ano, no, ng history, no? Hindi pinaplano yung mga ganyan, maliban lang kung lawyer ka. Please? Sabi ni Sir Francis, I think kaya nagmamadali mga congressman, kailangan na nilang magdagdag ng mga bagong probinsya, distrito, bagong bayan from current 82 provinces, baka maging 100 na tayo. Holy cow. Alam mo, grabe ka mag-isip, Francis. Nakakabaliw yung idea na yun, di ba? More officials, more poor people, di ba? More officials, less governance. Ay. Sabi ni Bernie Rivera, wow, advanced yun, di ba? Yeah. Ano siya, may bolang kristal, parang, hala, nagpaplano kayo. Pwede kaming magalit, sa totoo lang. Bakit? Bawal magalit? Bawal mag-take back ng power? Taong bayan ng ano ang source ng power ng ating mga leaders. You don't protect the leaders at the expense of the people from whom power emanates. We are the sovereign. Alam niyo ba yon? Kasi, in the olden times, eto na naman po tayo, yung divine right of kings, ang mga hari, kaya sila hari, dahil nanggaling daw sa Diyos ang kanilang power. So sa atin, Vox Populi, Vox Dei, the voice of God. The voice of the people is the voice of God. So we are the sovereign. So pag nag-i-elect tayo, tayo yung source of power. So, kung tayo yung sovereign, kailangan yung ating sovereignty finds an expression kapag tayo ay nawawalan ng tiwala. So kaya nga may mga proponents ng parliamentary para may pagkakataon na i-take back natin yung inalaw natin na leadership. Yung tao na mag-exercise ng power natin to lead. That if we can give it, we should be allowed to take it back. Kasi that is the nature of power. Control. So, sabi ni JR, sino po ang legal expert na at the top of your head to be members of CONCON? Legal? Kailangan legal? Kasi we need experts from various fields, no? Ako, for one, I would like psychologists who are versed in the Filipino psychology. I want people there who understand Philippine culture and understand the psyche and the mentality of Filipinos. I want historians there who will remind us, we did that in 1935, this is what happened. Mga ganyan, institutional memory. Of course, we want also, lawyers. Pero the lawyers, they're the craftsmen, okay? They're the wordsmiths. They're the ones who put into law the values that we identify. So what we need there are people who can identify those values. Once ma-identify natin yung values, makikita natin kung anong batas ang kailangan i-enact. Di ba? Sabi ni Bernie Rivera, and palalim ang diskusyon, sa social contract ni Locke at Rousseau, hindi sovereign ng government, kundi ang mga tao. Kaya nga, we are the sovereign. It's the people who are the sovereign. So, thank you for giving context to this. How can you talk about Chacha if our leaders can't be trusted to be transparent and honest? There we go again. And you're right. Absolutely right. How can we talk about any sort of change if the people we're going to put in charge of that change are most likely going to, alam mo yun, yung tutulungan natin sila, and then once naka-occupy, hampasin nila tayo. Matanong lang po, sabi ni J9, kung karaniwang tao lang talagang nagsulong ng People's Initiative, parang medyo malabo din po kasi di ba uunahin pa ba yung maisipan? Totoo naman. Kaya nga nagdududa ako dyan sa People's Initiative na yan kasi walang pinanggalingan, putok sa buho. Wala man lang walang momentum, walang mga taong no, we should do something about it, di ba? Wala man lang discussion groups online. Ay! Naku, galit na naman tayo, di ba? Kahapon, pinapahupa ko ng konti yung galit kasi kung matagal pa ang labanan na to, hindi tayo pwede ma-burn out. Sabi ni Taga Bicol, ako, matagal na dapat yung Chacha na yan. Alam mo, mahirap talaga magpa-charter change. Kasi ang una natin dapat inuunang i-discuss, which our leaders always conveniently forget. Ito yun. First, i-discuss natin how we're going to change it. Kung maliwanag that the people want a constitutional convention, then by all means go. Pero bakit parating ang sinusulong ay charter change so CONAS? Bakit parating Constitutional Assembly? And that is the reason why it fails. Nagfe-fail yan kasi CONAS. Nagfe-fail ang charter change dahil ang humahawak ay Kongreso. Yun yung CONAS, Constitutional Assembly. These are people we cannot trust. So paano nila mako-convince tayo na baguhin ang saligang batas? Nilalagay natin dun sa kamay ng mga tao na alam natin have proven to be untrustworthy. That is why it fails. Kahit sabihin nyo pang, dapat matagal na ito. Dapat matagal na tayo ng Constitutional Convention. But Congress will not give it to us and they keep giving us this insult na masyadong mahal talaga. Titipirin nyo kami. Laki-laki ng mga allowances nyo. Hindi pa nga kayo nagli-liquidate ng maayos. Hindi nyo pera yan. Hashtag, hello. Hindi nyo pera yan at wala kayong karapatan magsabi sa amin na masyadong mahal ang Constitutional Convention kasi alam namin na hanggang ngayon tinatago nyo pa yung mga liquidations ng inyong mga MOOE. Tigilan kami eh. Sabi ni Juan D. Cruz, tama ba ang reason bakit suspended ang gikan sa masa dahil sa threat ni PRD? So anong magiging takbo nito ngayon? Yamang binasura na yung kaso ni Franz Castro. Tanungin natin kay MTRCB. Although sasabihin ng MTRCB, iba ang standards namin sa criminal law standards. Hindi nila babaguhin yan. Would any change in the Constitution go through a referendum? Yes, Doom. All changes should go through a referendum. However, di ba? Itong People's Initiative, kahit mag-referendum yan, basically we're just handing power over to the Congress. And then, ganito ang gagawin nila ha? Yes or no lang. Halimbawa, meron tayong ayaw na gusto nilang ipasok. So they'll lump all the good things and the bad things together. Gaya ng ginawa ng 1987 Constitution. Ang referendum nun was yes to this Constitution or no. So kung meron kang ayaw, kahit isang provision lang, ang decision mo is, do I say no to the whole thing? Isa lang yung ayaw ko? Kaya nanalo yun. Ganun din gagawin nila. They will force us by saying, ito, kailangan na natin to, nagugutom ang mga tao, kailangan ipasa yung mga provisions na to, but at the same time, ipapasa mo din yung mga ayaw natin. Sabi ni Kenneth, ano kaya mangyayari sa Pilipinas kung maging Prime Minister si Martin Romualdez? Aga-aga pinapasakit yung ulo ko, ha? I'm kidding. Sabi ni Mordax, we're in a race, Tambi is in a rush, in siguro after 180 days. May mangyayari na naman. We don't know. However, sabi ni Christine Parrish na to, I'm trying. Sabi ni Ate Jennifer, ano daw ang posisyon ng mga senador? Iniintay ko nga, tumataginting ang katahimikan. But they have the most to lose, ha? Diba? So, after pinasama ko na naman po ang loob ninyo, 5 oras na ako nagsasalita. Maraming salamat po sa pagsabay-sabay natin dito. Kumbaga collective angst dito. May request lang ako para dun sa mga lahat na, aside from like, share, follow, and subscribe ha. Lalong-lalo na sa YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. Pero may request ako. para dun po sa mga religious pa, sa mga nagdadasal, sa mga may pananampalataya pa, pagdasal nyo naman ang bansa, hindi naman po masasayang ang dasal ninyo. Para dun sa mga hindi na po nagdadasal or hindi na po walang religion or anything like that, can you just spare a good thought for the country? Hindi nasasayang yung energy na yun. Pero para sa atin, spare it for the ordinary citizens kasi tayo po yung literal na hampas lupa, nalalatigop pa. Diba? We are the ones who bear the tax burdens. Mabigat yun. Pagka nagkakamali ang gobyerno natin, tayo nagbabayad. Kapag nagde-design sila gusto nila mag-travel grande, bakasyon grande, tayo din nagbabayad. Pag hindi nila ginagawa yung mga proyekto, tayo nagbabayad. Yung lost time, tayo nagbabayad. So pakiusap ko lang, kung nagdadasal pa po kayo, pagdasal naman natin that this turns out all right. Hindi lang naman po yan ang gagawin natin, pero gagawin natin pati yan. Lahat ng pwede natin gawin, gawin natin, including praying for this country. Hindi ko gustong insultuhin yung mga hindi na po nagdadasal or ano, pero if you can spare a thought for the country, please lang. And please spread the word na niloloko lang tayo about this People's Initiative. Huwag na natin iingatan pa yung mga feelings nila. Sabi ni Ma'am Elisa, nabudol kami for 6 months ni inalaw niya kagad ang EDCA. Doon pa lang, hindi na ako natuwa sa kanya. Sabi ni Christine, thank you for doing these lives. Waiting wall as it is, it's a way to vent and also possibly a way to build critical mass. No to Tambi Initiative. But don't forget, hashtag no to Tambi Initiative. Let's just call it what it is, di ba? And keep sharing, keep telling people what it is. And oh, by the way, I'm giving everybody permission to excerpt any part of this, but to make sure that you include a link. Okay? Include a link to the YouTube channel. Okay? Huwag sa Facebook kasi alam mo naman ang Facebook, galing-galing nila. So, yeah, anybody can excerpt this and feel free to post on TikTok, on YouTube, whatever. Kung pwede sa Threads, sa Insta, ganyan. Not so much sa Facebook kasi alam niyo naman, but feel free to do so. Excerpt lang. Huwag yung buo kasi people don't really like to watch yung mahahaba. Yung maiikli lang. Tapos mag-include lang kayo ng link to the original. Yun lang po. Please feel free to do that. Di ko hahabulin ng copyright nito. Huwag lang yung buong buo para mapanood. People will really watch short ones. So please, thank you very much for everything that you do. Thank you very much even for the good thoughts. Para dun sa mga nagpadala ng super sticker and super chat. Si Pogi ba ako? Si Pobreng Pinay, si Charlie, si Maria G, si Carmen YouTube channel at si FM Reyes 22. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. At dun sa mga nagpadala ng mga stars, maraming salamat din po sa inyo. Para dun sa mga nanonood sa TikTok, nasa Rumble po ito, or if you want to, you can also excerpt from YouTube. Okay? So, muli, maraming salamat. Ay, nasa ano ko ha, don't forget to follow din sa TikTok at saka sa YouTube. Paramihin natin yung mga alternatives to Facebook, just in case may mangyari. Okay? So, maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat sa partisipasyon. Maraming salamat sa mga matatalinong komento. Maraming salamat at, magkakasama tayo kahit virtual lang na ganito. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. You also remind me of what is important eh. When it comes down to it, ang mahalaga yung tao, yung taong bayan. So ingat-ingat ang lahat. Please stay well. Please take care of yourselves because your country needs you. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Okay? Ingat ang lahat.